In this video, I'll walk you through how to set yourself up with a way to quickly change the appearance of individual Gantt bars to represent different types of work, delay, waiting times, and so on. We're going to do this by setting up a specific column that you can add to your task view where you can select from a list of different options that you define. When you select one of these options, Project will apply a corresponding format to the Gantt bar for that task. How does this help us? Making your program presentable can go a long way to improving how easy it is to pick up and use. Generally, we do this ourselves by trying to keep the program looking clean and simple. You can see this basic format here, with the tasks shown in blue being non-critical and the tasks in red being critical. There will be times, however, when this level of simplicity doesn't capture what is best to show, and further bar formats become a quicker way to understand the information you're trying to convey. A good example of this in construction is if we're trying to illustrate variation works where we've got periods of waiting for an answer from a client, RFIs, and so on. The method we'll show you here will help you keep consistency in the look of your program and will help you perform the actual formatting much quicker than the more widely known way of formatting individual bar styles, so it will save you time as well. Okay, so to start, you may be aware that you do have options to change the appearance of all the Gantt bars in the program. You can access these quickest by double-clicking anywhere on the Gantt chart like this to bring up the Bar Styles dialog box. However, where we're looking to change the appearance of an individual Gantt bar, the well-known way to do this is to double-click on the Gantt bar itself, which will give you this dialog box. This will allow you to change the format of only this individual bar, rather than all of them, like so. If you want to remove any of the formatting you've applied to individual bars, select the tasks in question, double-click on any of the Gantt bars to enter the dialog, and there's a reset button here. Now, that's okay for changing the odd individual bar, but you could easily be working on a program with a couple thousand lines where we need to format many bars differently, beyond critical or non-critical. The method I've just shown you then becomes very cumbersome. There is a slightly faster way to format multiple individual bars in the same way. Say we wanted to format both of these. Make sure you've got them selected. You can do this by holding down the Control key whilst left-clicking on each task to select multiple tasks that are apart from each other. If you want to select multiple tasks that are next to each other, you can left-click and drag your cursor across them to do this. Once you've selected them, navigate to the Format tab. In the Bar Styles group, choose the Format option. This will give you a drop-down. Selecting Bar Styles here will take you back to where you can change the appearance of all the bars at once. We want to select Bar instead to go to formatting for just the bars we've selected. You could use this to change the format of as many bars as you have selected. I can set the shape, colour and pattern. You can also change the bar text via this tab, but for now we'll just use the bar shape changes for the sake of example. Clicking OK, you can see how both of these bars have changed appearance to reflect the format selected in the previous dialog. Okay, so this is slightly faster, but it is still quite a slow process. Say I have a custom look for waiting times, curing times and so on. Making these formatting changes with this method in a 2000 line program still needs me to be going in and out of menus to get what I'm looking for. It's still a pain to carry out. What we're going to do instead is set up a custom column for formatting. I've already got this set up and working in my program, so the way I'll walk you through the setup process is by going into each stage and showing you how it works. If you'd like to use the formats we do for yourself, it may help to pause the video at certain points to copy down the settings. I'll start by inserting the custom formatting column. We've called it formatting just for simplicity. As you can see, this column has a drop-down where I've already defined a number of options. I've got around 10 here, but you can define up to 20. From here I can very quickly choose an option I want and change the way the Gantt bar looks. Okay, so in the grand scheme of how this works, the custom formatting column that you see now is essentially just a list of the names of the formatting presets. You can't see them right now because they're hidden, but we've also got multiple other custom columns in here that are called flag fields. Flag fields perform some kind of check and then depending on what it finds, it will return a value of either yes or no. So what we've done here is set up a flag field for each of the different format options. These will look to see what is selected in our custom formatting column. Our setup is going to be looking for which one of these flag fields say yes to decide which appearance should be applied to the Gantt bar, after we assign that flag a unique appearance. Okay, so onto the actual settings. First thing I'll do is show you where you can set up the custom formatting column and the custom flag fields. Navigate to the Project tab and in the Columns group, select the Custom Fields option. In the dialog box, you can see here I've got a number of custom fields set up. Custom fields are basically custom columns, and each of the entries I've made corresponds to a column we can add. You can get different types of custom field. The formatting column is a custom text field. Custom text fields basically just store any text information you want to be related to your program. By default, the custom text columns will be named text 1, text 2, text 3, and so on. You can pick whichever one of these you want, but in this case I've used the text 3 column as the spot for the formatting column. Assigning a new name to one of these will allow you to add it to your program through that name. So say I just now added formatting and clicked OK. I can then add this column by typing formatting when selecting from the list of options when adding a new one. You need to stay aware of which text column you've chosen, as we need to input this as part of the settings needed for the formatting column options to work. In the custom column entry area under custom attributes, you can see we've got options here to set formulas, lookup tables, or nothing. Making sure you've got the new formatting column highlighted, in this case we want to use the lookup table. This dialog box is where I can type in the list of the names of presets that I want to make. You can see I've got 9 right now. You can add upwards of 200 entries in here, but you will always be limited to 20 presets because of a different limitation of Microsoft Project. Here in the value column, we've got a list of the names that we're using for each type of format that we're looking to create. If you'd like to use the formats we're using, you need to add these rows to your own custom fields, so you may want to pause the video to get them typed in. OK, with your custom field names defined, we can click OK. That's the names of the format styles done. Next we need to configure the custom flag fields that check what option is selected in the formatting column in order to decide which format style to apply. To do this, we first go to the Type drop-down menu and select Flag from the options. You can see here the different custom flag fields I've got defined. Just like with the custom text fields, if you're looking to use the same formats as us, you'll need to write in what you see here in each row, so again you may wish to pause to do that. Once you've got the names in for the custom flag fields, we need to define a formula on each of them. To do this, we need to click the Formula option under the Custom Attributes area. In the dialog that appears, this is where you need to remember the custom text field you used to create the formatting column earlier. In ours, we used text 3. These formulas are quite simple and nearly identical. This one for waiting time basically checks to see whether the text 3 column, which is the formatting column, has a value equal to the text waiting time. Waiting time is written in quotation marks to tell Project that it is looking for a piece of text. This formula tells Project that when waiting time is found in the formatting column, the flag for waiting time should return as yes. If the field says anything else, Project will just ignore it and it will return a no value instead. Between each flag formula, only the text between the quotation marks will change. It will always change to the corresponding name of the formatting option, so the waiting time flag looks for the waiting time text, the curing time flag will look for the curing time text, and so on. Aside from this, the only thing that may change is the number next to text in the square brackets, depending on which custom text field you chose for the formatting column. We've chosen text 3, so all of our formulas use text 3. If you'd chosen text 4 instead, for example, all of your formulas would use text 4 instead. So that's how they work. Remember, you need to enter a formula in for each of the custom flag fields. We've written down each of these formulas for you in the video description, so you can copy and paste them easily. With those added in, I'll quickly show you how these flag fields switch on and off depending on what I select in the formatting column. I'll add in the column for flag 1, which is waiting time, and the column for flag 2, which is curing time. Now, with the formatting column set to waiting time, you can see the waiting time flag column says yes, whilst the curing time flag says no. Setting the formatting option to curing time instead, you can see that the waiting time flag column now returns a value of no, and it's the curing time flag field that says yes. Ultimately, once you've got the formatting column working, you can hide the custom flag field columns from your task view and they'll just operate in the background without taking up space on your task view. The look of the Gantt bar has also changed, but how we configure Project to use the yes values in the flag field to apply a format is something we'll cover next. Start by opening the bar styles dialog by double clicking on the Gantt view. If we scroll to the bottom of this dialog, we can see here this is where I've defined what each bar format is actually going to look like. Feel free to pause at some point and copy what we've got, but obviously how these look is up to you. You want to add in a row for each of the flag fields. I'll add a new example one to show you what to do. In a blank row, click in the name field and type the name of the format preset. For the sake of example, I'll call this one Other Task. If I press enter, you can see it produces a basic format that you can go in and change to how you like it. By default, the format is set to start at the task start and end at the task finish, but there are options here to control this further. In here is where you write the flag field that corresponds to the format type. So for the waiting time format, we've got flag 1, for the curing time we've got flag 2, and so on. If I was setting this up as another flag field, I'd have to use flag 11 or above to keep the ones I've already got. The reason there is a limit of 20 formatting presets is because Project allows a maximum of 20 custom flag fields. I'll cancel this one because I'm not actually going to save it, but obviously for yours you'd click OK here once you'd added the formats to keep them in your bar styles. Once you've done this, selecting an option from the drop down in the formatting column for any task should apply the corresponding format you've just defined in the bar styles dialog to its Gantt bar. So in summary, we can think of setting up these formats in 5 steps. Number 1, define a custom text field as your new formatting column. Number 2, with this new custom field highlighted, use the lookup table option under custom attributes to create a list of the names of each formatting preset that you want to appear in the formatting column dropdown. 3, switch from custom text to custom flag fields and create a new flag field for each option in the list you've created in step 2. 4, use the formula option under custom attributes to assign a formula to each custom flag field that will allow it to return a value of yes depending on the option selected in the formatting column. 5. Go into the bar styles dialog and create the bar format appearances that will be applied when each option is selected in the formatting column. Name the format type with the name column and add the relevant flags for each format in the Show for Tasks column. The overall process is as easy as that. Some further notes about the way that formats get applied to your Gantt bars. The formats are added in layers. The blue for non-critical tasks and the red for critical tasks are on the base layer. Any other formats are applied on top of that as an overlay. So if I change this format to a half bar, you can see the base layer bar still sitting underneath. Likewise, the various indicators such as baselines will get laid on a layer above that. And that's pretty much it for how Project builds up the appearance of the Gantt bars. Hope you found this video helpful. Setting up the formats in this way should help you to quickly assign these looks to your Gantt bars and aid in the presentation of your program and how easy it is to pick up, read and use. If you've got any questions, feel free to email us at justask@menlo-academy.com and we'll come back to you as soon as possible with an answer. See you in the next one.